Hello, everybody. And I have a question for you. Have any of you gone to school? Probably, yeah, because you're here. But have you ever remembered anything from school? Exactly. It's very hard for people to remember things from school. But why? Well, in my idea, I think this is because the education system, as it is currently, doesn't make people interested enough to remember what happened, what they learned in school. So, in this presentation, I'm going to I'm going to explain the problems in our education system, and more specifically, what we can do to try to improve it. Okay. School is a very important part of our life. But oftentimes it's very exhausting, and when you come home, you might even be like tired and don't even want to do anything. It's high time we address this issue and make school learning as a whole much more enjoyable experience and less stressful. School is by nature a very time-consuming activity, and on later schools like high school or even college, it becomes the main focus of your entire day. So, it's in everyone's best interest, from the teachers to the students, to make everything as enjoyable as possible. Unfortunately, it's the opposite. School stays as one of the least enjoyable parts of our days. Many students recount school subjects as really boring, uninteresting, and you don't even remember what happens in them. I mean, yeah. The fact that schools require little to no major input from students, usually you're just like watching a teacher in the front, and they put the whiteboard, and you just have to write down and remember. That has no proper input, and you never get like truly immersed into school, and that's a problem, because when you're immersed into something, you're a lot better at understanding it, and because your brain is forced to work in order to really think, and without that, it makes it really uninteresting. Many students feel that subjects need to teach a lot more important and substantial information, because when schools teach something important, that teaching can be passed on to the students, and the students can even use it for something later on. But currently, it's very rare for you to use anything you learn in school for your actual real life. I mean, just think about how many times you've had to use the quadratic equation IRL in real life. Another big problem is homework. It's been a staple of school since 1905, and normally it's intended to encourage independent learning. Unfortunately, it's not as good as it doesn't really solve that purpose. According to a survey among my schoolmates, they count homework as basically one of the worst parts of the school system. It's extremely time-consuming, and it's very annoying because you just came home from school, and by then you're like already like tired, and then you are reminded, oh, you have to do more, and it's really exhausting. It also feels really useless because you don't get any gratification from the teacher, and it just feels unrewarding. It causes a negative association with children about learning and leads them to refuse to learn enthusiastically later in life. So, how should we improve the system? Well, firstly, we should determine how to better engage students with subjects. Humans, as a species that enjoys social interactions, we should take advantage of this behavior. By creating an environment where people can speak their minds on the current subject, we can make, for example, by letting students work together to answer guided questions given by the teacher, it'll make students feel like they are a part of this discussion, and it makes them a lot more interested in what's being taught. It also it makes us feel like we're part of the discussion and not just listeners. We should also make it so class activities are more suited to the students' passions, what they like, because when talking about something they like, it makes students a lot more interested, and they'll remember it a lot more. Another way you could use this behavior is by letting students talk about the topic after it's explained to get their initial thoughts and questions about it, to help the teacher gauge the student's understanding of the subject. This active discussion strategy has been proven to be effective by research done in Indonesia, which found that active discussion is a lot more effective at encouraging students to be more engrossed within the subject and provides positive student interaction. Secondly, we should update the school curriculum to keep it more up to date with current times. Currently, school feels like really outdated as the information that school teaches us isn't really related to what we learn in current times. It's pretty rare for schools to teach about like digital stuff. More schools worldwide should teach about it, digital footprints, and how to use internet effectively, and other non-online activities too, like how to earn and manage money or manage stress and work. By teaching these helpful life skills, we can prepare students for the future and let them feel complete after school, as they can recall important lessons they learned there. So, what are the advantages of making these changes? Well, for one, it makes school a more enjoyable experience for students. And two, it will improve the learning experience and let students learn only the essential exciting skills and knowledge. And three, it becomes a stepping stone for schools to be even better in the future. Because currently, schools, well, changing, it hasn't really changed for the better or tried to improve on itself. In fact, it's been quite stagnant and hasn't even changed over time. Basically, every other thing changes over time, but school has stayed the same. Like if you think about it, like you have like phones, they improve, cars, they improve, but schools, the schools that you grew up in are the exact same schools that your future children will grow up in too. And you have to think, do your future children want to learn in the same way you did, or do they want to be something better? It's this improvement that pushes humans forward and lets us improve it as a species, and it should be incorporated into more things, including schools. But before I end my speech, let me share my 3 years of experience while studying at Noble Academy. When I joined Noble Academy, I was surprised by how it allowed students to truly express themselves and their passions. Noble Academy's way of teaching was born not to teach, but to let students learn what they wanted. Teachers always let students give their opinions and dynamically adjust teaching to their liking. The teachers and students always had a close connection. It feels like talking to a friend and a teacher. But most importantly, Noble Academy wanted to evolve by using digital technology like computers, and they tried something new, and that's what's interesting about Noble Academy. Schools may be bad right now, but only so bad because people right now aren't trying to make big changes to it. School is a really important part of our lives, and in current state, it's not very good. But everything can change, and it will only change if we make it. Let's make a better future for education and learning. Thank you for listening.
Kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Tio.